privilege to be here today and talking with Ed and Cliff. I'm going to ramble for about 8 or 10 minutes or so. It's kind of a tough subject, and even defining what is successful and really successful and supercalifragilisticexpialidocious successful and whatnot. I'm just going to mention what I think are about 10 or 12. If somebody asks me, hey, what are you guys doing over there that seems to be working? We're having a pretty good run. And none of it is, as Ed said, is rocket science, and some of it is kind of maybe even obvious, but it's just the most honest way I can kind of answer it. The first thing is, in our business, there's a lot of, we all have our USPs and our ways of positioning our agencies and our shticks and our whatnot. It comes down to performance. It's really, really, really simple. When you find an agency that's doing well, that's growing in leaps and bounds, an agency that seems to be doing it right, if you kind of look below the surface, they're moving their client's business. It is no more complex than that. They're doing good work. They're getting results for clients. Clients are smart. I mean, it's really simple. And when they come up to visit an agency and they start to kind of pick up the rocks and see the results and see the way they're working with clients, that's the win. So that's the first formula. It's not inventing kind of an aura for your agency or coming up with principles and whatnot. It's doing the job. And I think that has been the case, will always be the case. So that's first and foremost. Results, results, results. Nothing fancy there, but that's the formula. It's really simple. Second thing, and a lot of people talk about this, probably the word we hear most in our industry is brand, and is about being a brand yourself vis-a-vis an agency. There are thousands of agencies in the country, but I would contest maybe only 20 clear brands as agency. We all have different definitions of what a brand is. We define a brand at the agency as a set of shared values, but to personify an agency, I don't mean vis-a-vis a person, but what an agency stands for. And I don't mean good work and getting results and integrated some of the price of entry things, but really is an aggressive agency, is an agency that's creatively focused, is an agency that's a populist agency. But what are the attributes you would define to that agency as any other brand? So, and as in the case with any great brand, you're not going to be all things to all people. And that's okay. Gray advertising is a brand. I may have a different point of view of what advertising is, but it's a very clearly defined brand where we could attach personality traits to gray. And I'll name others and so on and so forth, but be a brand. Stand for something. It's not going to be for everybody, but if we learn from what we do for a living, for the great brands that we create, they are not for everybody either. Have a clear point of view, be a brand. Another key to success that has really worked for us is what I call the balance of power theory. What I'm told from clients about our shop, and it's happened by kind of a wonderful accident, is that when you come up and you spend time with our different disciplines, we are not creatively balanced of power in that direction. We are not run by a great planning person. We are not run by a brilliant media person. It really is a balance of power that if you come up to the agency and you meet the top members of the agency, the partners, and throughout, it really is a kind of an equal democracy across disciplines. And I think that shows up in the work. And I think that's a critical thing that clients respond to, and I think is a key to our success, what I call the balance of power. We have a brilliant head of planning in New York and LA. We have brilliant creative directors, account managers, and it's not dominated by any one principle. And so that's the balance of power thing for us has been really a key. Something I really personally believe in, and it's going to sound a little goofy, but I found has been a real key to our success. And as I become a student of just business in general and read books on successful businesses and talk to people, you need to embrace failure. Failure is good. Failure is your friend. Not too much of it, because then it's not your friend. But our business, we are so out there. We are so visible to consumers, to our competitors, to the press, and there are report cards, and clients are giving us daily report cards. We are so afraid of the miss, but that's only where greatness comes from. You have to be able to open up that office, and maybe it's not going to miss. Try a new business unit. Get out there. We are so afraid of the chagrin of our peers, of our mentors, of our clients. You're going to miss sometimes. You have to have it in your DNA. You have to understand it. You learn from it. You grow from it. And you have to put it through your walls. People have to understand they can fail, because you can't give the spiel of reach for the stars and no ceilings, because when you reach for the stars, sometimes you fall off your chair. That's not only okay, that's almost an axiomatic given. I think that's redundant. It's an axiom that there is going to be failure. So you need to embrace that within your organization, whatever that means. And God knows we fail every day. And if you ask me to tell my most interesting stories, it's not about the successes, it's about the failures. And it's the one where I think our company has grown the most, and I know personally I've grown the most. The next thing, and probably also under the category of obvious, but it is just the ultimate truth. What is the key to success? Where does it come from? What is it? It's the people, stupid. I mean, from the Clinton campaign, it's the economy, stupid. It's the people, stupid. You know, we've said it in every metaphor you can say. The widget, the assets go up and down in the elevator. If you have the best people, you win. If you don't, you lose. It's very, very simple. Now, what does that mean, best people? For me, it means a lot of my friends, and most of my friends are outside the business, and they know at best I'm of average intelligence, and they're always saying to me, Donny, how are you so successful? We don't understand it. We have dinner with you. You're not particularly bright. How does this happen? And they're not kidding around when they say that. They can't understand it. They read the paper. They see. And I always say I hire people smarter than me, which isn't a very hard thing to do when you're starting from kind of a low bamboo stick there. But that is the Ronald Reagan School of Management. That is David Ogilvy said it, and it takes courage. Because, you know, when you're sitting in a room and if you're the lead manager or whatnot, and the people around you are in many different forms superior to you, that takes some courage, because people are going to call you on the mats and they're going to challenge you, and you have to be at your best game. But that is the key. If I was talking to a young person going into any business, if I was talking to a peer, if I was talking, hire people better than you. You know, and that's game over. Game over. It's amazing how smart I get when I surround myself with the brilliant partners that I have and the brilliant people that work at our agency. And you know, also trying in establishing a culture. I'm not going to say go for a type, because obviously there is no type of person and whatnot, but if our company of about 500 people, if I had to describe everybody, and it's such a disparate group, it's big brains, big hearts, thick skin, and 2% off center. And that takes different, but there is, and that's what defines a culture is people. And there is a kind of a people, but it starts with those big brains thing, and there is no substitute. And we've learned it, you know, people don't change. You can't teach people wisdom and whatnot. I mean, it needs to be in the DNA, hire people smarter than you. And part and parcel to that, and this has really been key for successful for us, and you can't fake this, people know it. When you show people you work with, or who work at the agency, that you care about their success, as much, not less, not more, as much as your own, they will walk through fire. And that can be financial, that can be whatever that means to individual people, and you can't fake that. And it is, but when people know that you are sensitive, that you are truly empathetic to their individual needs, what they want to happen for themselves, emotionally, financially, whatever that means, and they know you feel that, and they know that's part of your agenda, they will do anything. And if they don't feel that, you can't get to the places. So it's both hire the people smarter than you and care about their success as much as your own. Not more, because then you're an idiot, not less, than you're a bad guy. Also, in terms of bringing in people, special people, stay away from what I call the Cotton Fitzsimmons theory of hiring coaches. You'll notice a lot of basketball teams, you hire the same retread coaches who've kind of done it, and because it's safe, they've done. I don't mean retread in the bad sense of the word, but they've done it 7 times. Venture out with new people. Maybe they don't have the pedigree. If you're looking for a new president of your agency or a new creative director, it doesn't have to be the president that did it there. Hire the person where it's a stretch. Because what we found also is when you give people the opportunity to stretch and put their thumb on something and they haven't done it yet, they're hungry. Get the person, the man, the woman whose belly is still empty. You see in their eyes, they're still a little angry. They haven't proven it yet. Versus, ooh, look what that guy or that person or that woman did at that other place. We're going to get them and going to do it here. They've done it there, and they've done it brilliantly. Grow your own. Find the person that hasn't done it yet and have the confidence to go with those people. And that's really worked for us. Next thing that's worked for us is what I call the core competency dichotomy principle. And basically what that is, and it goes back to the branding thing that I said, you're going to don't stray from what you stand for. You have a core competency. You may have started from always being known for a brilliant creative product. You can never take your eye off that ball, but, and here's where the dichotomy comes in, always surprise the new client where that's not what they're going to be most impressed in. If they're coming in and they think they're going to see brilliant creative, make sure they are blown away by your direct capabilities. And it's going against type. So it's kind of a little bit of a contradiction. On the one hand, always be conscious of your core competency, never leave it, but always present against type. And that was something that Jay Scheid had told me a number of years ago that he was brilliant at, that obviously clients knew they were going to see great creative, but they came in and were blown away by the brilliant media presentation or the brilliant interactive presentation or the brilliant database management presentation. So be aware of the competency, but really go in the other direction in a strange way. The next thing that I think is critical is being an anti-sheep. You know, we unfortunately, in a lot of ways, are a business of sheep. We follow. There's something that works in an advertising. We follow it. Somebody does something successful. We follow it. Try and zig while people are zagging, not for the sake of it, but obviously with a real reason. Something that worked really well for us. A lot of agencies were opening up in San Francisco. It's the place to be. It's the creative capital. LA is a wasteland. You can't do it. We gave it a shot. We got some lucky breaks. It worked out for us. It was kind of a zig while everybody else is zagging, where there's marvelous agencies now just trying to start up in San Francisco. We had, you know, other than Cliff and Scheid and a few other places, there weren't a ton of agencies there, and we've been able to kind of do some good work there. So try and zig, whatever that means, while everybody else is zagging. What's worked for us is showing some heart. It's really interesting. One thing that I'm really proud about our place is really nice people. And when you, as a director of a company or leaders of an organization, can demonstrate, and it's not with barbecues, and it's not with little gifts, and it's not with gimmicks, but that as a company you have heart. That it's not always the cold-blooded money decision. Not only does that, I think, for me, also personally makes you feel good as a human being, but tends to be good fiscally also in a weird way, because people know that, and people see everything in a company. Every move, it is amazing. We all know this. I don't care whether the agency's 10 people or 2,000 people. People see the way people are treated, and you can't fake that. And if your company has heart, not only is it a wonderful way to grow a company, but it also tends to also somehow come back in dollars and cents, which is a real irony there. Another key to our success, I'm going fast because we got 10 minutes and I know I got a lot of stuff to get in there, is what I call the integration from within thing. And we've all talked integration to death, and obviously at this point it's price of entry. I think for agencies collectively, Cliff's and Ed's and ours, what is a real advantage of ours is there's critical mass enough to really be state-of-the-art in all the disciplines, but truly starting from the client's point of view and not the function point of view. When you've got a lot of the holding companies and they're different business units driven by different profit margins, it's not starting from the client, it's starting from the functions, whereas when you are still an independent, critical mass enough approaching $1 billion, we've been able to do the integration thing right, and clients see that. It starts from the client's needs, not from the individual business needs, because we work off of one profit center, and that has also been a key to our success. One other thing that's also helped us also, and it's another one of the obvious, at the beginning of every year, state 1 or 2 simple qualitative and quantitative goals. We're going to grow 25% and we're going to open up an office in this city. Or next year we're going to be this, and state them publicly. So then you have to live up, whatever publicly means, whether it means within your entire organization, whether it means to Wall Street, whether it means to the press, and put the bar there. And walk the walk, and talk the talk and then walk the walk. And it's so amazing how many companies in many industries where you walk in through the office, and if you stopped a middle management person, if you stopped the junior person, you say, well, what are the 3 things we're trying to do this year? And it'll be some babble about, well, we're trying to reposition. Make them very simple, clear goals, because you can't get where you want to be if it's just not even laid out like that. And that's kind of an honest one. Another one that's really helped us, and it's kind of in our DNA, and it goes back to the brand thing, is, and maybe this is an obvious one also, but you have to have a voracious, insatiable appetite to win. This is competition. This is an athletic field. It is a zero-sum game, unfortunately. When 5 people come in to pitch a piece of business, 1 group wins, 4 don't. You have to say to yourself, how do we win? What does it take to win? I want to win. We need to win. And it's a tough business. And sometimes we as an industry, we approach it and, it's a little soft and it's this and this. It's tough out there. And you have to say to yourself, we are going to win. And just winning is never enough, and continue to set that bar. It's contagious, and maybe that's kind of an obvious thing also, but for our place, we tend to feel that in the hallways, and nothing but winning is good enough, and losing is intolerable. And I don't mean just that we beat ourselves up, but it just doesn't feel right to us. And somehow you've got to pump that winning DNA through the organization. just 2 or 3 more last things that I think have really helped us, and this one is kind of a weird spiritual, psychological thing for an organization, and it's what I call a sense of entitlement. Very often when I meet incredibly successful individuals or come across incredibly successful organizations, somewhere, somehow, that group, that organization, those individuals said, we're entitled to this. No, we are going to be the next great agency. Or you know what, if we're pitching $40 million accounts, no, we should be pitching $100 million accounts. I'm going to do what it takes to get there. You have to, a lot of us wish, a lot of us, oh, geez, look at that agency. We should be doing that, or we deserve that, or no. You have to truly feel that your organization, that you as individuals, no, we're the best right now, and that's it, and where are we going, and how are we going to get there, and have it in your guts. And a lot of us, the most successful people in the world, somehow have this sense of entitlement. In your organization, just say, you know what, no, this is our time. You know, beginning, middle, end of story. And it's kind of a spiritual thing, but I think a lot of these kind of emotional, non-clear things are the things that really have helped and drive our company. The 2 last things, there's always tomorrow, and you have to remember, this business is not always fair, except to deal with it. We're all going to lose clients where we've done great work, and the client's business is terrific, but a new marketing director comes in. So what, it's not fair. That's life, that's business, it's a people business, and because a new client wants to work with people he knows, what's wrong with that? Who said it's supposed to be fair? If it was always about the best work winning, you might have some very tiny agencies that do great work being huge agencies. The business isn't fair, but the good news is, the amazing thing about this business and what has kept us going in the right direction as we've hit a lot of speed bumps and a lot of